Have you ever hesitated to dive into tarot because someone told you it takes years to learn? Maybe you've seen those readers who seem to know every single card by heart and thought, I'll never get there. Here's the truth. Tarot doesn't have to take years to learn. You can start reading meaningfully right away. If you are new here, welcome to the Memorizing Tarot Cards podcast, your 3-minute lessons on learning and memorizing each card using symbolism. Today, we're exploring common misconceptions about tarot cards. We have done 2 complete rounds of 3-minute episodes, where we learn the cards upright and reversed. Before we jump back into it, I wanted to switch gears for the holiday season and share my opinions on some common tarot misconceptions. Let's get started. So why does this myth even exist? The idea that tarot takes years to master is likely due to 2 factors. The first reason is the sheer number of cards. With 78 cards in the deck, each with an upright and reversed meaning, it can feel overwhelming to memorize everything at once. People assume they have to know it all to get started. The truth is, when I started, the ones I had the most trouble remembering were the court cards. Even when I thought I knew them, I would draw a blank. Even though I didn't read them perfectly back then, I shared what I knew. I focused on the suits, which I knew, and the colors in the sky, which I knew, and identified them as a person influencing the story in the cards. In other words, I didn't know everything about the court cards, but I weaved what I knew into the story. Also, I didn't read reversals initially because I was still mastering upright. It was where I was at, and I still had powerful readings with others. I believe that because of their reaction and the dialogue from the cards. The second reason is the complexity of putting the story together when you look at all the cards in a spread. Tarot is rich in symbolism, numerology, astrology, and mythology. Some think you must master all these systems to be a real tarot reader. As mentioned, this takes time and practice. But here's the thing. You don't need to know everything to start reading tarot. You can start from where you are, with the symbolism that you know across the cards, and begin to pull the stories together in the cards little by little. Build your knowledge and start from where you're at. So, how can you learn tarot without the pressure of not knowing enough? First, just start small. Focus on a few cards at a time. For example, pick one series and explore its theme, like Cups for Emotions. Remember, the journey from Ace to 10 is the same sequence in every suit. If you learn one, it's easier to learn the rest. Second, use your intuition if you get stuck. You don't have to memorize every card's meaning perfectly. Look at the imagery, colors, and symbols. Use what you can remember. Then ask yourself, what does this card feel like? What story is it telling me? And third, of course, practice regularly. Pull one card daily and reflect on how it connects to your life. This simple habit builds confidence and familiarity without overwhelming you. The truth is, tarot doesn't take years to start. Your connection with the cards and reading tarot will deepen over time. Next, I want to share an example of how I observed my own progression with learning tarot after I took my course. At this point, I didn't have the cards memorized. I just had the foundational knowledge to fall back on. First, I started seeing patterns in readings across the cards. For example, if I was reading for someone and they were starting a new career, I wouldn't only see the Ace of Pentacles for new beginnings on money. I may also see the Fool for a leap of faith and a Page of Wands for someone young in their journey. Second, my intuition grew stronger when I shared the stories I saw in the cards. With time, I could see the stories in the cards more easily and discuss them, using symbolism as my guide. And speaking of symbolism, the third thing I noticed is that my understanding of symbolism started expanding. That happened because I revisited and sought content to fill in the gaps in my knowledge. It was clear where I was getting stuck, which was court cards. I took the time to learn the court cards better, making my readings much smoother. The bottom line is that you don't need years of experience to start reading tarot. You only need curiosity, a willingness to learn, and a deck of cards. For me, the journey with tarot has been continuous, but I practiced with friends as soon as I took my course, using the little book when I got stuck. With time, I stopped using the book and just told them what I knew about the cards and their positions. So grab your cards, shuffle, and get started. That's all for today's episode. Remember, to memorize tarot, keep practicing tarot. Thanks for listening.